Good morning, all you beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to another episode of Cassar Industries. We're at it again. Today is the day that the Calais drift car is going to receive its L67 heart. Let me show you quickly what's going on. Nothing much has really changed with this thing since you saw it last. It's just been sitting out in the backyard chilling. Had a little bit of a clean up this morning, painted a couple of things in the engine bay. I'm going to have a little bit more of a clean up and move things out of the way before we start. I need to drop the steering rack back down too to make room for the engine. L67 is set up on the engine crane, ready to go. It's hanging, dangling, doing its thing. It's ready to go in. I'm just going to put a new oil filter on it before we drop it in. So I've got one of Ryco's sports filters, I guess you can call it. They're black, so they're better. So yeah, just going to do a couple of things. Jason should be here any minute, so I'll just get things shut off. Oh, hello, Jason. Hi. How's that for timing? That was pretty good. Yeah, let's get into it. L67 is sitting in the bay of the Calais. Bit of a mission. Ended up having to take the throttle body off to get it to sit where we wanted it to. Transmission is not supported at all, so everything's sort of leaning back hard up against the firewall. So I'm going to lift the thing up and try and get it all supported and in how we need to. Boom ski. It's in. Cross members are in and tight. I've just got the lower engine mount nuts all tightened up, and I've got the upper inner ones done as well up in here. We'll do the upper outer ones when we drop it back down. I've just got the steering rack sort of sitting roughly in place. So now we're just going to go through and start buttoning up everything under here, guys. So obviously get the steering rack bolted in. We'll get the tail shaft in, get the exhaust on. We'll get the clutch slave cylinder on. All of that stuff, exhaust hangers, etc., etc. And then I'll give you a look what it's like when it's done from under here. Fantastic. We have smashed it out of the park. Tail shaft is in. Shifter linkages are on. Cross members on. Exhaust is all bolted up. Steering rack's back in. All the engine mount nuts are tight. So physically, like as far as hardware goes, everything under here is all sorted. Just waiting on some new oxygen sensors. I've ordered some brand newies because these ones were condition unknown. They were carried over from previously, and I also broke one when we were pulling this engine out of the other car. So they'll be in shortly. So now we're going to drop it down, have some lunch, and yeah, we'll keep going. Cool. Now we can start on the nitty gritty of getting everything up here all buttoned up and back together. I've just bolted the power steering pump on and connected the fuel lines, but besides from that, I haven't done anything else. So yeah, just going to smash through, get everything back together. Let's get into it. An absolute mongrel this thing has been. We had to redo the wiring like 4 times as far as running it goes to get it down to plug into the crank angle sensor down there, but we ended up taking the fuel rail off and running it behind the fuel rail, sort of down behind the core packs, and then it runs down the side and then it goes in. Just got to lift the car up now to do the knock sensor and put the other oxygen sensor in. Jason's about to do the throttle body, and then we can plug the throttle body in, put the intake on, fluids, and I think we're there. But guys, L67 drift car. Pretty excited. Let's finish it. Jason's just doing the oxygen sensor, and there's also an earth cable that goes on the back of the passenger side cylinder head. So he's just connecting them. I'm just going to quickly throw a new fuel filter in it. This one was put in when we sort of got this car up and running. In case you're wondering about fuel system, I already do have an L67 pump in the fuel tank of this. So shortly after we got this, the fuel pump died, and I had an L67 one in stock. So we fitted that in anticipation for future stuff. So yes, there is already an L67 pump in here. So new fuel filter, connect up those last couple of things, drop it down, and fluids. As far as fluids go, engine oil, we're using the Penrite Racing 1550 high zinc. Been using this in this car for a while, and I believe that's what's kept this engine alive so long. bloody good oil. Got some Newline super concentrate, so I got 2.5 litres in total of concentrate. Top the rest up with water. And I've also got some Redline water wetter, which I ran in it last time as well. The radiator in this thing holds about, I think it's about 12 litres. Like, it's a massive radiator. But anyway, we'll just finish it off because it's getting late. Okay, we are pretty much there. We've got some coolant in it, we've got some oil in it. Everything's connected except the DFI module, because I want to crank this thing first and build up a bit of oil pressure because we had the sump off it and all that. It was bone dry. Do you want to do the honours, mate? Hit the key and pray that it cranks. Rightio. Cool. Low fuel. Check what the warning is.
Very low fuel.
Very low fuel. Rightio. All right, we can deal with very low fuel. We'll connect the DFI module, recheck oil level, and then give it a hit. Alrighty, we've topped up the oil a little bit more. We've connected the DFI, so ready for first start, I guess. By the way, with the intake, you may have noticed in the previous video, we did have a Bunnings PVC downpipe intake that went down under the front bar. That airbox is now on the Berlin wagon. And I've put the crap airbox and it's just got a standard filter in it. That's on this just for now, to get it started and give it a test drive, because I am going to make a custom intake for this, which you will see shortly. But anyway, feeling it? How are you feeling?
Nervous?
I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. Hit it. Half a crank. She fired up. Besides, just a low fuel?
Very low.
Excellent. Excellent. That is a bit of a relief. All right, we'll let this thing run for a bit. Get some heat into it, finalise coolant levels and stuff, and yeah. It's been sitting here idling for a good 15 minutes or so now. I keep cracking the bleeders and topping it up just to make sure there's no air in it. It takes forever to get up to temp because of the size of this radiator. I did that with their previous engine as well. It's still reading cold on the temperature gauge. And yeah, it's literally hasn't even moved. It's been idling, yeah, for a good 15 minutes. So, yeah. I've sent Jason down to get a bit more fuel for it. So once he gets back, we'll throw a bit of fuel in it. Definitely sounds a bit different. Oh, also I picked up a strut tower brace, just like a factory Holden one. So I'm going to throw that on now as well while I wait for Jason. And then, yeah, I think we will call it a night. And then come next weekend, we'll make a bit of an intake for it. We will plumb up the boost gauge to that fitting. And then we can actually take the thing for a test drive. That's going to do it, guys. We've just had it come up to temp. Fans have kicked on, so that's all good. We'll let it cool down overnight. We'll put another 10 litres of fuel in it. Got that strut tower brace bolted on, so that's good. I plumbed up the boost gauge too, so that just goes onto the fitting on the front of the lower manifold. Hose runs under the fuel rail and connects up to my boost. Gauge fitting. When we take it for a drive, we'll see if it's actually making boost. But yeah, I think that's it. We'll just shut the thing off for tonight. And that's it. We'll pick this thing up another day. Pardon me. When we'll make an intake for it to let out as much of the honk as possible. What do you think, Jace?
Pretty good.
Hello, everyone again. I don't know how long it's been. A couple of weeks, a few weeks since we put the engine in this. We still have not test driven this. Short of driving it from out the back to in here, have not taken it for a test drive because I wanted to finish everything on it with the L67 swap before we test drive it. First thing today, I need to address this. Can't have that on there anymore. Right, now that that's done, we're going to make an intake for it today. So we just put this a completely standard air filter set up on this just to get the thing started and running. And I was going to take it for a test drive, but we haven't yet. But today, yeah, we're going to make something for it. So I'm going to grab a few things out and show you what we're doing. Got all the stock intake off. I've just left this duct thing on there for now. Airbox is there. I've connected up the catch can. So I've just installed that bottom fitting. The top one is capped off. And I've gone into the factory breather hose from the inlet manifold just for now. Not as effective as going off the rocker covers, I know, but I've just got a bit of a barb in there to connect it on there. Just for now, so at least it's sort of doing its thing. So now I'm going to start sort of mocking up and seeing what I can do. 3.5 inches is a little bit too big for the throttle body. So I'm going to cut this off from here and put that on the throttle body because that's a tight fit on there. And before you start panicking saying I'm destroying a perfectly good intake pipe, it is split already and it's taped up, so don't panic. So we'll do that and we'll start making a bit of a plan. So putting together a bit of a loose plan, I'm going to go airflow meter straight off the throttle body like that. I've also gone through and knocked out the mesh from inside the airflow meter. That is a bit of a mod you can do on these as well. I've played with the wiring, so like this all reaches up to here and stuff now. And then if I grab my 45, sort of position that around there, that's going to get us pretty close to where we need. So I might have to extend it slightly to get the filter. I want to get the filter down in that corner as much as I can. But yeah, we'll just see how we go. So basically, it's going to be something like that. So the filter will sit right down in that corner. So I just need to extend it that much. So yeah, let's do it. So I've cut out this section of 3.5 inch. It's 80mm long. I drilled a hole in the side of it as well. So the air temperature sensor can go in the side like that. That will probably go underneath the pipe so you don't see it. I've taken the clip out of the airbox that holds it in place. So that will essentially be in there. And then that will get tigged onto here. So we will bust out the welder and get that welded on. Alrighty, you've got the pipe welded up and just buzz back the weld a little bit. Got the air temp sensor installed as well. The clip is on. So now when it's in there, sort of looks a bit like that, which I think looks pretty good. But I'm just going to make a bit of a bracket to support this end. I might just pick up one of the mounts or something down there. So we'll do that. I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. All right, it's all done. In hindsight, I could have maybe made it a little bit lower, given the angle of how much space is down there. Probably could have dropped it about 25-30mm. I might do that later, but probably not. As far as supporting it goes, I've just done this stainless support bracket that welds onto the side down there. Tigged that on. Got our air temp sensor plugged in underneath the pipe. So yeah, can do the whole, it's not going anywhere. It's actually quite secure. I might put a second mount on it down the track, sort of like coming off here, across to there or something, but I don't know, we'll see. I have just let it idle for a little bit, so it's got a little bit of warmth into it, so we'll see how it sounds. Definitely does have a little bit of a howl there, but it's not under load either, so yeah. Be interesting to see how that sounds when driving. So nothing left to do now, but finally take this thing for a test drive. So this is it, guys, first drive, cold engine. We're just gonna give it a bit of a run, get some heat into it, run it through the gears, make sure everything's all good, and then yeah, we'll do a little bit of an acceleration test and see what happens. Alright guys, we're gonna do the same test we did the other day. Starting at 20k an hour in second gear, we'll give it a hit to 100. Trying to beat 9.9 seconds. 20k an hour. 3, 2, 1, go. Stop. Holy crap, I was not expecting 3 seconds gain. We might do that again. I'm going to just reset it, mate. Slowing back down. Right, 3, 2, 1, go. Holy crap! That's a massive gain. Alright, 20k an hour. 3, 2, 1, go. Stop. Yeah, that's pretty slow. Alright, we're going to see how much boost we're running. Should be around 6 pounds. Yeah, 6 to 7. It's nice to see that boost gauge reading something other than vacuum. How good. The L67 swap in the drift car is pretty much done. There's a few more little things that we want to tidy up here and there. But yeah, very good result. I don't think the 20 to 100k an hour test was accurate when we did it with the Ecotech. Even though we did that test twice, we only filmed it once. The fact that it almost got 10 seconds, it seemed very, very slow to me. But having said that, it is considerably faster now. Like from the seat of your pants, it definitely feels a lot quicker. I would have loved to put it on a dyno with the other engine and then again with this, but don't have anything nearby that can do that. But at the end of the day, how the car drives now, how it accelerates is blown my mind. I did not expect it to, just from you feeling it, to have that much of a feeling of improvement. So super, super happy with it. Am disappointed because the exhaust is stupidly loud that I can't hear the supercharger whine. If Jason was in the front seat, he stuck his head out the window, he said he could hear it, but I don't know, it might quieten the exhaust down a little bit or something. I'm not really sure, but for now, this thing's all done. Really happy with it. As I said, a few more little things that will happen down the track, and I'll let you know of those things as it happens. But yeah, for now, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next video, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you real soon.